Orungbe Oluwaseun Richard is a co-director of Cakes and Pastries Nigeria Limited. He holds a master's in business administration. He is happily married to Mrs. Fumilayo Seun Orungbe, who is also a director in the business. The union is blessed with two wonderful children. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Orungbe Oluwaseun Richard.
Born July 12, Samuel Afolayan is a dynamic entrepreneur and creative visionary with a strong passion for design, innovation, and personal development. His journey into entrepreneurship began at an early age, driven by her natural inclination to solve problems and create impactful solutions. From organizing computer training sessions for his peers in secondary school to exploring the worlds of graphics and fashion design, Samuel Afolayan has found an inspiration in the heart of creativity. In 2014, during his final year as an undergraduate, Samuel Afolayan founded Samscript Fashion Academy, a platform dedicated to nurturing creative talent and empowering individuals through fashion and design education. His entrepreneurial spirit is complemented by a solid background. He holds a Bachelor of Technology degree in Project Management Technology from the Federal University of Technology, Akure. He is also a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Project Managers of Nigeria, further solidifying his expertise in strategic planning and execution. Over the years, Samuel has mentored and coached more than 100 individuals, guiding them toward successful careers and businesses. His journey has not been without its challenges. Like many entrepreneurs, he has faced several setbacks and failures. However, his unwavering commitment to growth, resilience, and consistency has fueled numerous successes, reinforcing his belief in the power of perseverance. Today, Samuel Afolayan is recognized not only as a seasoned entrepreneur, but as a career development and growth expert. He continues to inspire others through his story, combining his love for creativity with a mission to develop, empower, and transform lives. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Samuel Afolayan.
All right. Thank you so much, the CEO of Samscript, for honoring this invite, and then our very own Cakes and Pastries. It's also a privilege meeting you today. So I'm also one of your customers, but I'm happy to meet you today. So this session is a fireside session, and then we have one or two questions to ask. And I can tell you that the question we have here actually speaks to the yearning of the youth of this assembly. So we want you as much as possible to help us drill down, give life scenario, so that all of us at the end of the day can actually pick, the much anticipated learning. So I want to start with you, Mr. Oluwaseun, maybe because we are namesakes. So I want to push it to you. Let's start from the beginning. What sparked your journey? The Cakes and Pastries that we see today that has become more like an household name. How did you start? Thank you, sir.
Praise the Lord. Let me first of all thank God for this opportunity. I'm grateful to God for how far He has brought us. It is only what God gives that we can gather. So He's our source and He's our strength. Without Him, we can do nothing. It is only in Him that we live, that we move, and that we have our absolute being. So I give all glory back to God. Also, I want to thank the organizer of this event. This is a wonderful program. As a matter of fact, beyond the money that people will get from this pitching. What we have had today, it is more than a million naira. If you can go on with the teachings, the last speaker that just spoke, he has already done justice to a lot of business needs that the youth that we need. Even when we heard from our pastor too, he said a lot of things that if we take to those teachings, it will do us very, very well. So I want to thank the organizer for coming up with this initiative. The idea of cakes and pastries. Cake and Pastries is a family business that is run by myself, my wife, and our children. We have two directors, myself and my wife. But the idea came to, I always say one thing. I want to, if I say it, the youth in the house might be a bit angry. I always say it, that I bless God for unemployment in Nigeria. Unemployment changed the narrative of my life. I was in Lagos looking for a job upon graduation from school. And while going for interview here and there, I met one of my secondary school mates, a friend that went to the secondary school together. That guy, upon leaving secondary school, he ventured into business. But we still went further to higher institution. Before we graduated from higher institution, this guy is already in millions, he's in money. So when I left NYSC, seeking for a job, I went to his house in Lagos. So we'll be going all around as young guys, looking for, just going all around in Lagos. So most of the places that the guy always take me to them was this particular cake shop. The name of the cake shop was Cakes and Cream. Cake and Cream. The company is in Lagos. So, and then I was looking for a job, and I had the opportunity of meeting with the manager of that particular cake shop. As I then, the owner of the cake shop was paying the manager as high as 50,000 naira per month. And as a young graduate, then, if I could get a job that can pay me 50,000 at that particular time, I would have gone for that particular job. So I just felt, so people can be doing cake and can be paying staff as high as this. But then I never thought that a man could go into cake business. But I felt it's a female's word. So I had in the back of my mind that anytime that I want to get married, I will make sure that I preach that idea to my wife. So number one factor that I want us to bring out from there is power of association. Power of association. That, my friend, changed the narrative of my life, because by meeting him, I was able to connect to the vision of our business. So one of my trips down to Akure, I met my wife, and immediately I shared that particular vision with my wife, that this is what I see, and I've discovered that if you want to have a successful life, I told him personally that my vision about life is that I want a family whereby I have somebody who can take good care of me, take good care of my children, and even have time to take care of ourselves. And I said, going by that vision, we have to do our own private business. That's when I brought out the idea of, probably we should go into this line of business. And from there, and like I said, Nigerian factor happens to my wife too. My wife happens to be a very intelligent young lady. She left secondary school at the age of 15 with 9 distinction. She graduated from university at one of our best students at the age of 19. So telling such a young Brahman girl, lady, that we should go into business is a bit difficult. But the way Nigeria happened to her was that, so they were called for interview. They said KPNG invited them for interview, first class and 2-1. So, but I already told her my mind about what I want us to do. So she went for that particular interview. On get to that particular interview, he saw array of heads, much of people having first class and 2-1. So on that particular day, she felt, so people with first class are as many as this. So immediately she changed her mind. She said, okay, let us try what my husband said. So we're not yet married then. So, and when she gave into the idea, then I took her for training in Lagos. So we went for training in Lagos. That was the beginning of the dream. So Cake and Pastries started as a small seed. And our prayer, like you said, our prayer was that when we started the business, we felt that, our prayer was that God should make us a household name in this state. And to the glory of God today, God has really made us a household name. That's how we started.
Thank you so much. Can we jam our hands together? People of God, please, I want us to get this. It's a privilege for us to have people like this in our midst. I'm not sure you can walk into their store and then you say you want to meet with him. Probably he won't even be there. So for us to have him around here, it's a privilege. Thank you so much, Mr. Seun. I think you made mention of something very important, that after your wife agreed that she went for training. So that actually buttressed what Pastor said, talking about capacity building. Now, away from that a bit, I want to ask, running a business as a couple, I'm happy my wife is here. So please, I want you to pay attention. So running a business as a couple, how has the journey been? And then what impact has that had on your family? Has there been times where there will be frictions, managing finances? I don't know if you get the question, sir.
Yeah, it's the thing is, family business thrives a lot. As a Christian, the Bible says, if one can chase 1,000, it said when two people come together in unity, they can chase what? They chase 10,000. You can see the multiplication. The arithmetic is not, it should be 1,000, 2,000. But he said if they come together in unity, they can chase 10,000. So if you run business with your wife, the thing is, every one of us has our own area of expertise. For example, in cake and pastries now, what I do is that I do the administrative aspect of the business. I do the administrative of the business while my wife does the technical aspect of the business. So our roles are not in conflict. She does her own perfectly, I do my own perfectly. So, and peradventure, if there's a conflict of it, probably I have an idea. In my home, I have a policy in my home, even with my children too. The strongest argument takes the upper hand. If you can convince me that, if you're a little boy, if you can convince me that this is a superior argument, the argument takes the fall. So we are not believing that because I'm the head of the family, whatever I say should be the order of the day. So I've also discovered that if you listen very well, for men, because of our ego, if men listen carefully and critically to their wife, because the way God created women, they have this intuition, they have the ability to even reason more deeper than we men. But for the fact that men believe that because I'm the head of the family, most of the time when you say something, wife says, probably she brings out her own idea. You might want to say, no. But the thing I always tell men is that go listen to your wife, go analyze whatever she's bringing forth. Then by the end of the day, you'll be able to come up with a superior advice. So that is just it.
Thank you so much. And I hope we can jam our hands together. And I hope our men and then even husband to be in our midst, I hope we are picking learning. Honestly, what you said struck me. It happens to me recently when my wife gave a counsel. I believe in my heart of hearts that I can figure it out. She said it again, and I still went ahead. It was difficult for me to give her the outcome at the end of the day because it didn't work out. Now I listen to people I believe they are professionals outside against what she gave. So thank you so much for doing that. So Mr. Sam Script, we are happy to have you around.
Thank you very much.
Yes, we've seen a lot of kudos being given to you. Even Pastor Afe, you also said a lot about you. And then how I wish maybe after now you also made a very nice outfit for me as well. Okay, so talking about failure, failure sometimes teaches us what success cannot teach us. Was there a moment you, and how did you repeat? Question again. Was there a moment that it's a very low point, and then what did you do to leave the woods and then come back to winning ways?
Thank you very much. First off, I would say this is a very privilege for me to be among God's people. Anytime I'm among God's people, I count myself, being in faith with God, and it's a privilege for you to be in God's presence. I want to say thank you once more for the privilege given to me, and this is a wonderful program. Like is one of my mentor in far away. We've actually had a lot to do together. You remember ASAP Foods? Yeah, I was one of the founder of ASAP Food then cake and pastry was something that in the food community, it's helped a lot of young people. A lot of us build some of our business around their business back then. So thank you again for
Let's jam our hands together for cakes and pastries. It's a blessing to have you around, sir.
Now, talking about failure, at least I can recollect two big fail moments in my career. One was after my NYSC. Yes, against other people's motives and what they believe about NYSC. When you're coming out from NYSC, you come out with money and the like. When I was rounding up my own NYSC, I was coming out of debt. So I actually did not save 1 naira out of my NYSC money. And that was because I started a business pre-NYSC while I was waiting to, go for my youth service then. A lot has been said here, and I would say there are key points that we should always take note of. I ventured into a business that I actually do not know anything about, or let me say I know few things about the business, and that was me venturing into food business. I ventured into food business. I pump in all of my funds into the business. There was someone that was talking about diversifying. Don't diversify into something that you don't know about. Then, even before you diversify, ensure that what you are currently doing, you are fully grounded in it very, very well. Yes, I already started my fashion business back then, and I was doing well gradually. But I think the little money I was making in the fashion business got into my head, and I want to diversify. And lo and behold, I diversify into something that I don't know anything about. I diversify into the food business, and that crashed me. And while I was doing my youth service then, all the monthly allowance that the federal government was giving to us, coupled with the little money my fashion business was making, I was gathering everything together, paying debt upon debt upon debt. So, in fact, coming out of youth service here was like a deep breath of savor for me. So, how did I navigate through that? One major failure for me was I revisited my vision. And that is why when you have a strong conviction, a strong vision, it's something that is going to help you scale through all those fail moments, all those times that you are at your lowest. So I revisited my vision, and I discovered that, okay, fashion is something that I have passion for. It's something that I really wanted to do. I already have the scenario of how big I want it to be. So I go back to it again and say, no, if I am not going to be something and somebody in this fashion industry, I am not going to do any other thing else. I'm going to stay focused on this fashion thing. So that is one. Revisiting your vision is something that will help you out of those fail moments. When you understand why you started in the first place, it's something that would actually keep you moving. And instead of you throwing in the towel, you will say, no, I am going to keep building. Now, the second fail moment that I have also was just few years back. That was in 2023. It's another big fail moment for me. I was at my lowest at that time. Maybe I'm still going to meet with my mentor in in advance to ask him for how he navigates, having a business with with your spouse. Yes, I'm not married, I'm still single, but I started a business then with my fiancée back then. I built the business around both of us. Yes, it's my business, the funding, everything is mine, but she's also in the fashion space, and I feel like, okay, if you are also in the fashion industry, I'm in the fashion industry, then let's do this together. And then our incubator, we do it together, and then the relationship failed. Family issue, the mother doesn't want us to get married, and that was how the relationship failed. Now, when the relationship failed, it affected me a little bit. Fast forward to June 2023, I got boggled at one of our offices. We have 2 offices in Akure, then we have one around Southgate, and then we have one at around Cathedral. So I got boggled. All my machineries, wiring, everything. In fact, customers' clothes, some customers' clothes we are carried away with. But my first failure is actually a place where you also build strength. So please, one of my advice is don't be afraid to fail. When you fail, it's an opportunity for you to learn, all right? And failure doesn't mean you should throw in the towel. Failure doesn't mean you should call it quit. In fact, that is the reason why you should even say, no, I want to push ahead in what I am doing, if you have that conviction. So at this second time that I was at my low point, I already have experience in failing. So I say, I just laugh it off. And people were surprised. People were like, Sam, sorry, this. I was just laughing. And lo and behold, I built myself already. Now I have experience. There is experience. There is teachings. I have people that I speak to. There are mentors. Please do not overlook the place of mentorship. People that you can run to, people that are doing what you do, that you can seek knowledge from. Even people that are your mates. I have someone, he's my friend, but I acknowledge the fact that he's doing well and better than me in the fashion industry. So that's something you should also know. We are age mates, he's my friend, but he's doing far, far better than me in the fashion industry. And I told him, I said, see, guy, you are my friend, but when it comes to this fashion thing, I will still need your advice on some of all those things that I will be going through. So that already alone has made me to learn quite, a lot on how to fail. Learning how to fail is another thing that we should learn as entrepreneurs. So at that point, I already know what to do when I was at my lowest. So in 6 months, I recouped back everything that I was boggled off. All of my machineries that I was stolen, what millions of naira, in 6 months, I recouped them back. Now, this is like the second year into when I had that downtime. I can say that my business has 10x the time of, even before the boggle. So, thank you very much.
Can we clap our hands? Jam our hands together. Thank you so much. So, I don't know why I still want Cakes and Pastries CEO to also attempt that question. We see the buildings, the edifice, and we also pray that one day, let me also have, even if it's not going to be cakes and pastry, at least, having such. So, have you failed before?
Yeah, like he said, in life, we can learn from people. It is not necessary that because somebody has failed, you too must go through that process. The essence of you having mentorship is that you can learn from that person's past mistake so that you will not go and fall into that particular dish. But let me also add this. Failure per se is an ingredient of success. Failure...
Please, I hope somebody is noting that down. Failure, please, you can repeat that, sir.
Failure is an ingredient of success. Because most of the time people fear, I don't want to fail, that's why I don't go into this, I don't go into that. See, failure teaches you how to do things better. That's just the definition of failure. It teaches you how to do it better. So once you fail in a particular instance, you won't go back and do it the same way you failed. You will go and do it better. But most of the time it's only better too if you have people around you that you can learn from them. For example, in cake and pastries, what we do is that because we do a lot of consideration before we do our things. And I've always told people that I say fear is one of the major things that is affecting the youth these days. Like the complex that you said, when I got the bill for us to build that particular complex, I told my wife, I said we cannot do this project. Because looking into our records, I felt that it is too difficult for us, too big for us to handle. But I also said one thing the other, I said power of association. I have friends and people that I live with. Immediately I went to them, I told them, I said, I got the bill. As a matter of the day I got the bill for the project, I developed headache immediately. So, because I just look at the calculation of what they brought and what we were making at that particular time, I felt we can't do it. So, but those people that are in my life that I spoke with, number one, my wife, I told her, I said, we can't do this. He said, why? I said, can't you see the bill? He said, you can do it. She started encouraging me of what God has done in the time past. Then I pick up the courage for myself. Okay, let's see what will happen. I went to some of my friends. I told them that we can't, because that building was built on a moldy soil, and they said we have to do pile foundation. The last speaker that spoke, that said, what went into the foundation? What went to the foundation of Cake Race can build a whole house. So, but they told us that each point of pie, we're going to do like 190 points of pie. And each point of pie will be taking 6 bags of cement. And so many other things. When I calculate the load of cement alone, it's going to take about 2 trailer load of cement for us to do pie foundation. So I said, that is too massive for me, we can't do it. But with the encouragement of people around me, they encouraged me to go on with the project. You know that by the time we started doing the project, we now discovered that when they started doing the piling work, we now discovered that some aspect of the sand were a bit harder, that we won't need up to that particular number of cement. At the end of the day, we used nothing about 400 bags of cement instead of us using like 1,200 bags of cement. So fear will have driven us away from achieving our goal if I've surrounded myself with people who have that same bad mindset. So what I always tell people is that in life, you need to surround yourself with people with quality, people who have, let me just say, the positive mindset. Because whatever I want to do in life, it starts from the mind. Before cake and pastry, that beauty becomes a reality. It first starts from the mind.
Thank you so much. Can we jam our hands together? Please, let's do it. So I think the message is clear, and I hope somebody is noting something down. You know, you need to relook your association for you to really go far. Check if those you are associating with are actually killing your dreams or not. So you can see that at the end of the day, they didn't even use up to, he will have backed out ordinarily and will have missed out on such a very strategic location. So look inward, look at the people you associate with. Thank you so much. So I'm taking the question back to you before I come to some script. As a believer, how have you been navigating the business world and then holding on to your faith? The reason why I'm asking this question is this. We are getting to a level where if tomorrow now, somebody, maybe a church member, sees that edifice and then they are looking at you behind their lessons like this, like I'm looking at you, that, are you sure? Is it not the same business we are doing? Is it not Nigeria? With the current economic holocaust and downturn, how is this man? You can't tell me Mr. Sheon is able to. So, how are you able to hold on to your faith, while navigating the business world without without derailing from the right path? Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. The Bible says, it is God that giveth power to create wealth.
Please, sir, you might want to re-echo that so that our people can learn. Please, sir.
The Bible says, it is God that giveth power to create wealth. So, the foundation of Cake and Pastries is built on Christ. Myself and my wife, when we went from the beginning of the business, we know that this business is going to be built on righteous things. So something happened to us. Let me just cite this as an example. When we built the plaza, so I took a dedicated line from Kuta Junction, and because I always have light 247. So when they installed the meter for us for the light, after the very first month, the meter was not working. So the NEPA people came to us. They said, they checked the meter. They said, you have used light electricity for 1 month, but your meter is not reading. I said, what happened? That's not my fault. You people installed the meter. They checked. They said, something happened to me. But the man has called me to a meeting. He said I should come to his office. So I went to his office. So when I got to his office, so he told me, he said, is there anybody that you report to in your office? I said, yes, I have somebody that I report to. I don't want to present myself as if I'm the owner of the business. And the truth means I will also report to my wife. So I said, yes, I have somebody. He said, can we discuss together? I said, we can discuss. But can you tell the other person? I said, we can. The man said, okay, what is going to tell me right now? That I should not discuss with any other person. No. He said, the thing is that he showed me the list of those people who are using the band A list. He showed me what will have been the usage for the whole month. As a matter of fact, when he showed me, though my meter did not read, but what I was supposed to pay for that particular 1 month is about 1.8 million. So the man now said, having seen all this thing now, he said, go do me a favor. I said, what is the favor? He said, it is that they can do it this way, since the meter did not read, that I should just give them 1 million, then the 800,000 naira, they will forget about it, that they will go and I told the man, I said, see, I am a Christian. I won't do anything that will affect other people's business. I said, let's just look as if we didn't have this conversation. I won't tell anybody about this. But the thing is that I can't go without your option. Even if I go and report myself to the other partner, the person will not take that one from me. So I stood on the only thing I asked the man was that if it is possible for you, since it's not my fault, if it is possible for you to share the bill, probably I won't pay it at once, so that we can pay it instrumentally. I don't know, the man agreed. He said, he now begged me that please I should not tell anybody about this, but the man stood with my advice. So what am I saying in essence is that because of money, you should not trade up your Christian values. Money is the least thing that God can give to you. If you have integrity, if you have one of the things, like you said, in this industry, how people have gone ahead of us in this business world, that today when they see camera, they say, how did you do it? But there's a factor working for us. That's the grace factor. The grace factor is that we will not do anything that will compromise our faith. If you are telling me, as a matter of fact, if you come to my restaurant, if you eat, if I see that you didn't finish your meal, I want to probe into it, that what happened? Because I see it as a sin, taking money from you for not enjoying my service. So what I do most is that I try to improve on what we are doing so that we can get more customers to ourselves. But cutting corners or doing this, I won't do it. So that is our own.
Thank you so much, sir. So that's a message to us. It is God that blesses.
Yes.
You can't cut your way out and say you are thriving. No, it will not happen. So please, let's ensure that while we are navigating the business world, we stay glued to our belief in God. And I see God who has that power to give wealth, giving us that much needed wealth in the name of Jesus.
Amen.
Thank you so much, sir. So coming back to script. Yes, and I want to assure you, based on the testimonial I had, I want to tell you personally that you have a cost. So I want to ask, what advice would you give to your younger self if some script were to be 18 years today? Wow. What advice would you give to your younger self, and then also the younger generation, or people who are new, who are just starting entrepreneurship? What candid advice would you give to them?
Two. Number one, you can't do anything without God. Ask for the grace of God. Always put God first in anything you do. I would always give my younger self that advice at any time. Then secondly, I will repeat the same thing that it looks like almost everybody that has speak on this podium has been saying, which is association and mentorship. They are very key thing that it looks as if we are already watering down these things. Entrepreneurs doesn't want to be accountable to anybody. Entrepreneurs don't just want to do life by themselves. They feel like they are competing with someone that they are supposed to be getting advice from. So if I would have the opportunity to advise my younger self, I would tell this younger self of mine that associate with people who have positive mind and seek mentorship early enough. Seek mentorship early enough. It's going to save you a lot of trouble. For me, I would say that some of the troubles, because I run mentorship programs now for entrepreneurs and people who just want to develop in their careers. And it seems as if God just wants me to go through some of the failures and things that I actually do on my own, so that I will better be able to admonish some of the entrepreneurs that are coming. Is the earlier you can get a mentor, the earlier your chances of surviving the entrepreneurship world, the earlier your chances of succeeding in entrepreneurship. In fact, you will go faster than someone else who just want to do it all alone. So those two things are key. God first, associate yourself with people that are positive mind, and make sure you seek mentorship early enough. And if you feel like, okay, I'm just starting my entrepreneurial journey, I'm already 40 years old, I'm already 45 years old, before you start, make sure you seek mentorship on people who are already doing the same thing that you want to do, and they are already succeeding. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You can do it better, please. You can do it better. You can do it better. So, to Mr. Oluwaseun, I want to ask. You talked about your journey, how it started, how you conceived it. So, how do we translate knowledge into action? It's going to be a 2-in-1 question. How do you translate knowledge into action? And then, how have you been avoiding procrastination? Have you been faced with the issue of procrastination? And how are you able to navigate it? Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Knowledge, like I said, he said it already, about training. If you want to do anything in life, the best thing is for you to seek knowledge. The Bible says, my people perish because they lack knowledge. So knowledge is key to whatever you want to do. But having gotten the knowledge too, that is where the issue of this mentorship and the other one he said comes into play. For example, why people gain knowledge at times and they cannot apply it, it's because, or probably they didn't see somebody to guide them through. Let me just paint a scenario here. For example, if you come to me, I train people too in all these things that we do, in pastries, food, all those stuff. Once a student comes to our restaurant or to my school, I have a culinary school too, the first thing I pour to that particular student is that you can make it in this industry. I will let them realize that, because a lot of people come around to acquire skill just for acquiring it for, let me just say, because there's no job in Nigeria. A lot of young guys come, there's no job in Nigeria, let me just while away my time by getting this particular skill first until when I get a paid job. Already, that person has already failed in that business line. But you coming to me, the very first thing that will instill in you is that this business is even better than you going to seek for a job. I will have pumped faith in you that you can start this small business. We are an evidence of that, starting small and making it big. So when you see somebody who started small and the person is telling you the rudiment of what he went through And you too can pass through that particular journey and you can become big. I know that will pump, like I told the story of my friend. That my friend motivated me because I saw him with just ordinary school certificate. Before we graduated, he was already a millionaire. So I felt if somebody with school cert can become a millionaire, so what about we that we call ourselves graduates? Then immediately I told the option of his advice. And today we are what we are by his grace. So if you seek knowledge, how you can put action into it is that you have to look for somebody who already has that particular knowledge to see what the method the person is using so that you can go also the way the person go. That is it.
Thank you so much. See, let's jam our hands. Yes, let's do it. Wow. So now a lot of emphasis has been placed on mentorship. So if you are hiring the CEO of Cakes and Pastries, that probably he will be your mentor. Please, you have to route it. Has to be routed through me. Yes, it has to be routed through me, and you pay the consultancy fee. Please, very, very important. But let's jam our hands together. They have actually been wonderful. They have actually been wonderful. To ask some script. We have young ones with a lot of ideas. Today, I am going to modernize how our mechanics, I want to go into it. I will use my knowledge of tech to rebrand myself, and I will start an auto workshop. Tomorrow again, I'm looking like, and Cakes and Pastry came to our church. Maybe it's coming, it's a pointer that God is saying I should go into cakes and be making, and I love meat pie. Maybe if I do 10, I will eat 8 out of the 10. Now, and tomorrow I'm thinking of something else. Sometimes we are confused. How do we stay true? How can we stay in one place? I think that's the challenge I see around. How can we just maintain a position and weather the storm there to become a better version of ourselves? Thank you, sir.
Okay. The reason why I was smiling when you were asking this question is because I have some groups of young people that are actually facing this challenge, and by God's grace, I've been trying to, create a shift in their mind for them to be able to focus. It's looking like the youth are, getting easily carried away by trends. Okay, this is what is trending. I want to try to do it. And maybe after 2-3 months, the fire just comes down, and then a friend tells them, this is the one that is making money now. Currently, I think one of the major rave among youths is technology. I want to be able to make money, sitting in my house. I don't want to go anywhere. I want to work from home. I just want to press. Yes, it's working for some people because they develop time and focus into that. And sometimes you see those people that say, it's tech that is raving, I want to go into tech. They go into tech. They can't even put in the patience, the work ethics that is required of you to become a tech bro or a tech sis, and then they drop tech again after 6 months and say tech is not even making money. Okay, this is the next thing that is making money. Let me be doing TikTok videos. If I'm doing TikTok videos, they will give me money on TikTok. And these are some of the things that are swaying a lot of youths away now. Okay, I want to find a way to monetize my Facebook account. If I can monetize my Facebook account or monetize my YouTube account, because someone else is making a lot of money using doing some of all these things. So this rush of a lot of ideas is actually making them do nothing. Now, and one of the things I would always say is there is nothing that you want to set your mind to do that you cannot be successful at. There is nothing, I repeat, there is nothing that you want to set your mind to do that you cannot be what? You cannot be successful at. It's as simple as saying that I want to sell water for a living. And we know that water is one of the most, is difficult to see, but also so easy to see. It's like a two-way thing, depending on the area that you get yourself. But imagine somewhere like Lagos that is already a waterlogged area and the like. We know Lekki does not have good water. Yes, water can sell in those areas very well. But what I'm still trying to say is, even if you decide that it is water I want to be selling, you can become a multi-millionaire selling water. The thing you just have to do is dedicate yourself, let there be a conviction that this thing, if I do it, I'm going to succeed at it. Then also, another thing that I discovered that is actually making people to have this flush of ideas is that they want the idea to be perfect. And there is this saying of mine that once the idea is perfect, the idea will fail. Once the idea is perfect, before you want to launch it out, that idea will fail. Why did I say the idea will fail? By the time you're already waiting for that idea to be fully formed, the people who took chances on that same idea, by the time your own idea is fully formed, those people are already ahead in that industry. So by the time you are coming in as a latecomer. So me and Mr. Seun, we're actually having a discussion about how to see ahead of time, how to look into the future and know how to maintain your business so that your business doesn't fade out, even years coming. And he told me about one wonderful idea that he's actually doing, which is against the traditional alase and and the like. Is now going by per plate. So if you want to do your wedding and you want cake and pastry to be present at your wedding, just tell them the number of guests that you are expecting. I am expecting 1,000 guests, and then they would give you the quotes depending on what you want to serve your client. Okay, this is going to be the quote per plate. Don't worry about the ingredient. We are going to do all those ourselves. Oh, so per plate to serve your client is 10,000 naira per plate, is 50,000 naira per plate, and then you multiply it by the number of the guests that you want to attend to, and then they will cater for all of your guests. Now, this idea looks strange in this around Ondo State, Ekiti State, as is. It looks strange. People might not want to buy into it. But the thing is this: if he waits for the idea of charging per plate to cater for an event, if you wait for that idea to be fully formed, I'm telling you, other people would have gone far. Because before you can say, the idea is fully formed, it means it's working. Everybody else are doing it. And by the time everybody else is doing it, that's when he wants to come and do it. He's going to become a latecomer in that industry. So another thing that is making some of our youth to lay back on the ideas they have is that they want the idea to be fully formed. Number one, ideas are not fully formed. So for you to start something, once that thing enters into your head, kick into action, commit yourself. I remember when I started my fashion academy, I just woke up one morning and I discovered the challenge, the pain point of people that are, wanting to learn, go into the fashion industry, and they are looking for where to learn. So when I did not have equipment, the equipment I have was just something enough for me to be sewing and do what I do personally for my brand. So, but when the idea of starting a fashion school, it was as a result of, trying to solve a particular pain point. And immediately that night that the idea came into my head, that same night, the following morning, that same night, I met someone and I told someone, I said, hey, how you doing? I'm going to be starting a fashion school. So one way to actually kickstart your idea is by committing yourself. Commit yourself. So I told someone, because when you commit yourself, you don't want to go back on those commitments. So I started telling all of my friends, I am starting a fashion school. I am starting a fashion school. My fashion school is starting. So at the point of time when it looks as if, Sam, you want to start a fashion school, you don't even have industrial machine. You don't even have a big cutting table. You don't even have a classroom. I was sewing back then because I started from campus. And the place where I sew there is a vacant self-contained in my apartment. So it was that vacant self-contained that I collected, and that place was where I was using for my production factory, because I had a roommate back then and I don't want to inconvenience my roommate. So I collected an extra just for that purpose. So is it inside that place that I'm going to be teaching people? But the thing is, when I told people that I'm going to be starting a fashion school, lo and behold, when I was almost giving up on that idea, a friend of mine just called me, Alpha, Sam, so I've told someone about the fashion school you are starting, and the person is willing to register, like, in fact, right now. And I was like, that was my first student. I said, what? I started the fashion school right on campus in my final year. That was when I started the academy. And I was like, yes, I've given the person your number. The person is starting as soon as possible. So that propelled me. I can't go back on my words anymore to tell the person, the people I've told that I'm starting a fashion school, and say I'm not starting a fashion school again. So, and that was how I was able to incubate that one student into that one small room. And because I am someone that has a growth mindset, I couldn't even wait 2 months, even a month inside that place before getting a place that is more open, more accessible. I started pushing myself because there are, people are now, facing me. You say you are starting a fashion school, and then they are bringing people down your way. So while you are thinking about this idea, swing into action immediately. Commit yourself to people. Make yourself accountable. The reason why a lot of ideas die, or you keep changing ideas per second billing, is because you don't have someone you are accountable to. You don't have someone that you can submit to. So when you tell yourself, I want to start a baking business, it is only you that knows that you want to start a baking business. Nobody else knows. So when that idea dies, it is only you that know that the idea is dying. So when you come up with another idea again, nobody knows again that you are coming up with another thing. So the idea upon idea keep dying. You keep building ideas, the idea dies. You keep building idea, the idea dies. So firstly, when you have an idea, write it down. After you write it down, commit those ideas to people you can trust. Commit the idea. This is what I want to start. This is what I want to start. This is what I want to do. And those people will help you. I don't know why people have this notion in Africa. I know that we have to do things in secrecy. But there is this notion of if you want to do something, don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. That is one of the reasons why ideas keep dying. Because you want to do something and you don't want to tell anybody what you want to do. So there is nobody to hold you accountable. The thing you say you are going to do, why haven't you started it? Why haven't you done it? Why haven't you done that? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. That's very powerful. And then something came out strongly from you. You say you are somebody that has a growth mindset, and I think that's a key takeaway for me personally, and I'm sure one or two other people have also been able to pick it. So back to the CEO of Cakes and Pastries, and that will be the final one from me. Before we call it a wrap on this fireside session, what is your advice to churches? What's your advice to churches, regarding business? Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. No, but before part of the advice too, let me just say this: that the world is changing. The world is evolving. The way our parents, the way they did their things, is different from the way we are doing it right now. And I was talking to Sam in the room the other time. I told him, I said, in Yoruba, majorly among the Yorubas, if you start business now, the very first thing, or if you start a job as a young boy, you graduate from school, God gave you a job, or you are into a business, the very first thing that your parent will be telling you is that they will keep on putting pressures on you. Because in the Yoruba setting, they believe that once you build a house, you already have an achievement. That's their belief. But early enough in life, myself and my wife, we stumbled on a particular Bible verse. It's Proverbs 24:27. That Bible verse says, build your business first and later build your house. So I'm trying to change people's mindset now. So from that particular day that we saw that particular verse, what we did then was we started investing in the business. As we are making money, we are pouring the money back to the business. investing, put it back. So a time came that my mom called me, said, for people who understand Yoruba, I told my mom, I said, number one, I do not fornicate, I do not smoke, I do not drink. Note, what we are making from this business, we are applying back the money into the business. I said, the time will come that will build my house with ease. And when the time came that I built my first house, it was different from what others were building. So let me now shock you. So those equipment that we're using for our businesses, I rent plates to people, I rent everything that is used for catering. So a day came, if you value my house, it can't be less than 50 million what the house that I live in. But a day came, I called my mom, that same old woman. I placed one of my plates before the woman. I said, Mommy, plates in you, because my warehouse where we keep all our catering equipment is in our house. So I brought the plate before her. I said, Mommy, this is the plate. I said, Mommy, I said, choose between the house and this one. The old woman went for the plates. Do you know what? That plate gives me money every weekend. People comes around to rent the plate from me. If I'm not working, doing any other job, that plate is giving me money every week. And the house, except if I remove my house from the house, it is a liability. In those days, they thought building houses are assets. House these days, they are liability, except if it's a commercial property. So the notion, okay, another instance is about the issue of going to school, graduate. Parent believes that it is those who are not educational okay that goes to vocational jobs. But today the narrative is changing. Just last week, somebody came to my office to repair just 3 AC. It took the guy just few hours to do the repair. And when he was going, I told him how much was my bill. The guy took 60,000 naira from that particular job. Just a single day job. So the narrative is changing. I want the people, the church now to start telling the youth now that what the world requires now is skill. It's not about certificate. If you come to me now, you say you have PhD. I don't need PhD to employ a staff. But just recently, just last week, a chef came. When I saw the CV, the guy has worked outside Nigeria. He has both local and international experience. Immediately, the second I gave him the job. And we negotiated his fee. But if a guy should come to me and say, they will beg, I have guys who are begging me for a job every day. That please, oh God, please, I need a job. Because I discovered they are not adding any value to me. The world is going towards value addition. So the church will start telling the youths now that the world is telling towards people who can add value, not about certificates. Then about the issue of challenges, this is where I want to also advise the churches. Majority of the time, the church, they will say, in Yoruba Palace, those who will make it in life must be able to overcome one challenge or the other. As a matter of fact, challenges are the breakfast of the champions. Well, let me just quickly say this story so that people can learn from it. The changing moment of my life happened during COVID. When COVID came, they said we should not. When COVID came, we used to do adult job every weekend. So I was planning around March 2020. We just bought a truck for our adult job. I branded the truck, and around February I employed the driver. So the driver started work February. So and I discovered that guy was a very good person to me. He will come to work. We will say, "Hoping I will buy my truck by March," because I was trusting God for money. So by March we bought the truck. The very first day that we were supposed to go and do the adult job in our work, the Akeredolu made an announcement that we should not gather together again to do adult job. That's a challenge. And I've already engaged a driver. The guy collected more salary for the month of February. He collected money for the month of May, April, February, March, April. That posed a great challenge to me. I didn't want to lose the guy. But at the same time, I don't know when they will say we should start catering work again. I started thinking. That particular child, I started thinking, what will happen? Another just dropped in my spirit. That a day might even come that they will say, we should not even be selling food in the restaurant again. That what if they close this shop down? What would happen? And I said, and I have a guy, a driver, who is just coming to work every day, and he's not doing anything for me. And I called him, I said, Daddy Ruka, come, see, I'm a young boy, I don't need drivers to drive me around. As a matter, you know why I engaged you, is for this truck. But right now, we are not doing outdoor job again. And I don't know when the government will say we should resume the outdoor job again. And I said, can you do something? He said, what? I said, can you ride a bike? He said, no, but can you learn it? He said, yes. Immediately, I gave him money to go ride a bike. The very first month in June 2020, I told my staff, I said, put up on the social media that Cake and Pastries is doing free delivery of food to all our customers. And immediately I said, we are doing food delivery for that 1 month. I was just trying to test, maybe it will go, maybe that will fly. Do you know that the very first day the guy started delivery work, I will run outside. Before the guy will come back, I will have gone outside to go and give him food. And I'm going to go and give him food. You know what? Before, from June 2020 to June 2021, I bought 15 bikes. So that delivery changed the narrative of my business. So in church, most of the time they will say challenges are what you should surmount for you to be able to make it in life. So they should be letting you to know that if you don't face challenges, you cannot make it in life. So they are part of the going process. That is just it.
Wow. How I wish you can just continue to go on and on and on and on and get all of this. And I can tell you, distinguished colleagues, church members, these are secrets of the moment. That is, we are getting on a platter of gold. Yes. I wish we can pick learning and we run with all of this. So we have come to the end of the fireside session. Please, I want to take a picture with these two great men. But before I do that, I want to say thank you so much for honoring this invite. We know that you have a whole lot to do, but abandoning all of this just to honor us and be a blessing to this church is something that we hold very dear to our heart. And it's not something that will go away in a jiffy. Thank you so much for coming. And we pray that your relevance will not diminish in the name of Jesus. You know, next time we hear about some script, cakes and pastries, you know, it will go global. It will go global. And that is our prayer to you. Thank you so much, sirs, for coming around. It's been a wonderful and very engaging session, and I hope we have been able to learn one or two things. And to the audience, I want to say thank you also to you for the patience. Thank you for staying around. Thank you for coming around. Yes, thank you so much. Let's take the picture, and then I now hand over back to our host. Thank you so much, sir.
All right, once again, we celebrate our guests. Let's put our hands together for them once again. We are glad having them around with us, and we have learned from their words of experience. Thank you so much